It is such a privilege to be with you here today, and I'm so grateful to each and every single one of you. So many of you have traveled from far, and you have traveled filled with love and hope and resilience. And today is an important day for us to be together and to keep going in this fight. I want to start by saying a moment of thanks to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. What you see here is what I have the privilege of seeing every single day and have had the privilege of seeing every day for the last 3.5 years. He is a fantastic boss. And in my view, the best boss is someone who supports you, who pushes you, and who gives you the tools and the resources you need to be effective in your job. And that is what he has done for the Drug Enforcement Administration every single day that I have been here. So thank you so much. We are gathered here today because every single one of us has been impacted by fentanyl in our communities. This issue is not distant, it's personal. It's in our homes, it's in our neighborhoods, it's in our communities. And yet today, we also have reason to feel hopeful about the work that we are doing, about our progress, and about the lives that we are saving. The most important thing that I want you to walk away from today with is knowing this: you are making a difference. You are making a difference. Every single day, through the work that you are doing, through the conversations that you are having, through the schools you are visiting, it matters, and you are making a difference. You are saving lives. Thank you for your work, and thank you for this partnership. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how DEA can do more, how we can learn from you, and how we can expand on our partnership together, and how we can save more lives in our country. I want to be clear, as I have said every year for the last 3 years, that this is a fight. This is a fight, excuse me, this is a fight to save lives. It is a fight to save lives, and this fight is winnable. I'm going to say that again because I know that all of you have days that are hard, where it is tough to get out of bed and to go to that school or to talk to that community group. I want you to know that this fight is winnable. And I feel hopeful today because I know we're making a difference. The CDC has reported that between June of 2023 and June of 2024, that we have seen more than a 14% drop in the number of Americans that are dying from fentanyl and methamphetamine poisonings and overdoses. To put that in language that all of us understand and care about, that means that there are 14,063 fewer deaths in the United States of America. 14,063. And a decline like this is not just a statistic, it is not just a number. It's lives that have been saved. It is parents that do not have to bury their children. It is brothers and sisters and friends that do not have to mourn. It is communities that did not have to experience another tragedy. And it is someone, or maybe it is 14,063 someones, who were given a second chance. So you are making a difference. And I think that that's something we all need to hold on to today, as a reminder of what we're doing here, why we do the work we do together, and that everything we are doing matters. But that's not all. I also want to share with you some other progress that I believe that we're making and about how far we've come. Just over a year ago, as DEA seizes fake pills that look like real medicines across the United States, as we seize those pills, we test them. We have 10 labs across the United States with chemists who do an extraordinary job, and we test every single one pill that we possibly can to understand what's in it, how was it made, and how we can better understand how the cartels are operating. We also test it to understand how much fentanyl is in that pill. A year ago, when our chemists were testing those pills, for every 10 pills they tested, 7 out of those 10 was deadly. It contained 2 milligrams or more of fentanyl. That is a deadly dose. As all of you know, that is the amount of fentanyl that fits on the tip of a pencil, and that amount is the difference between life and death. Too many of you know that that tiny amount can take a life in an instant. And here's the important news. Because of the hard work and dedication of the women and men of the Drug Enforcement Administration, and because of all of you, the pills that we are seizing this year, of those 10, it is now 5 that contain a deadly dose. So we have gone from 7 out of 10 being lethal to 5 out of 10 being lethal. Now, we should all be clear that 5 out of 10 pills being lethal is awful, and we should not accept that. But it is significant progress in our fight to save lives, because it means that for every 10 pills on the street, 2 fewer are deadly today. And I want to note that I believe that a big part of why we are seeing this decline is because of the pressure that we are putting on the 2 cartels in Mexico, the Sinaloa and the Jalisco cartel. And as the Attorney General just said, we are putting pressure on their entire criminal networks, starting with the supply chain of chemicals in China, going to Mexico, where we are targeting the manufacturers, the labs, the people transporting those chemicals and making fentanyl, pressing the fentanyl into pills, bringing it into the United States, where we are targeting the drug traffickers, the people selling drugs on the streets and on social media. And then we are also targeting the illicit finance, the people who are getting the dirty money back to Mexico. That pressure is changing the way the cartels operate. It is changing the way the cartels operate. And it is making a difference. As all of you know, over the last 3 years, we have taken action across every part of those 2 criminal networks, every part for the first time in DEA's history. As the AG noted, we charged 20 Chinese chemical companies and 28 Chinese nationals with fentanyl trafficking for the very first time. When I started at DEA a little more than 3 years ago, there were 7 leaders of the Sinaloa cartel that were at liberty in Mexico. They were free. They were living their lives in Mexico without fear of being held accountable for what they were doing. Today, 4 of those 7 leaders are in custody, and 3 are about to go to trial and face justice in the United States of America. And as I've said to many of the folks in this room, targeting the whole network works. It works for us to get the leaders, it works for us to stop the supply of chemicals, and it works for us to get the people who are selling drugs on the streets of America. Over the last 3 years, we have also put resources and invested heavily in something we call OD Justice. We now have OD Justice operations across the United States in every single one of our field divisions. And what that means is we partner with local and state law enforcement to investigate